Staying with the former Deputy President, the Supreme Court has dismissed his bid to halt impeachment proceedings before him against the High Court. Before the High Court. In its ruling, the Supreme Court said it lacks jurisdiction to interfere with matters before a lower court. The Apex Court also struck out an application by the National Assembly that sought to strike out Gachagua's cross appeal. The decision now paves the way for the substantive appeal to be heard on merit. Brenda Wanga reports.
In a ruling delivered by a 5-judge bench led by Justice Martha Koome, the court rejected an application filed by Gachagua seeking to halt ongoing High Court proceedings, strike out the National Assembly's appeal, and expunge documents from the record of appeal. The court also dismissed a separate application by the National Assembly that sought to strike out Gachagua's cross appeal. The dispute stems from an extraordinary series of constitutional events triggered by Gachagua's impeachment in October 2024.
It confirms my assertions.
The motion to impeach Gachagua was introduced in the National Assembly by Kibwezi West MP Mwengi Mutuse and passed with the support of 281 lawmakers before Senate subsequently upheld the impeachment, leading to the nomination and eventual swearing in of Professor Kithure Kindiki as Deputy President. Gachagua's team had questioned the legality of the decision by the Deputy Chief Justice to empanel the High Court bench while the Chief Justice was away. He also sought recusal of the judges on grounds of alleged bias. The High Court dismissed both challenges, a decision that was partly overturned by the Court of Appeal, which held that the power to empanel judges is an exclusive constitutional function of the Chief Justice, exercisable by the Deputy Chief Justice only in exceptional and clearly demonstrated circumstances. That finding prompted the National Assembly to move to the Supreme Court, arguing that the Deputy CJ acted lawfully.
By his legal team,
Gachagua cross-appealed, faulting the appellate court for failing to order the recusal of the High Court judges. However, the Supreme Court held that it lacks the jurisdiction to stay proceedings before the High Court, noting that its powers in that regard are limited to proceedings before the Court of Appeal. The court further declined to summarily strike out the National Assembly's appeal, finding that it raises serious constitutional questions deserving full determination. It also ruled that the documents Gachagua sought to have expunged were integral to the case and had already been relied upon by both the High Court and the Court of Appeal. Similarly, the Supreme Court dismissed the National Assembly's attempt to strike out Gachagua's cross appeal, holding that it did not meet the threshold for summary dismissal. As a result, both the appeal and the cross appeal will proceed to a full hearing, where the Supreme Court is expected to conclusively determine the scope of the Deputy Chief Justice's powers and provide authoritative guidance on judicial empanelment under the Constitution. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.